Hello, in this video we are going to be making polymer clay ornaments to go on a Halloween tree display. This will be my second to last Halloween video for the year. Let's get started and welcome to Project Easy. Recently I've begun decorating smaller trees for holiday events, like this Easter. I brought felt decorations and a small white tree. It wasn't that cheap all up, so I thought for Halloween I might try Temu. And I did find a cool black tree with built-in lights, as seen here. The tree itself was super affordable, around 10 New Zealand dollars, which is around 6 American bucks, and I found what looked like great ornaments to go along with. However, when they arrived, the Temu decorations were way too big for the tree. So with Old Halloween's Eve not to way far, I needed a creative and cheap option. Here is my plan for the handmade decorations. The tree itself isn't that big, so I've decided to only have 4 figures, though I will be making 6 and picking the best 4. For the theme, I decided to go for something a little different. Usually when I think of Halloween, monsters such as witches, vampires, werewolves and ghosts come to mind, but this year I've noticed a lot of creepy clowns and dolls in store. Also, I decided to create my own creatures, such as a ghost girl / creepy doll hybrid and a crazed monster carrot. Here are some of my drawings for the polymer clay decorations. Now, before I begin, I just wanted to say that this is more of an experiment rather than a tutorial. I haven't made clay models this small before, and it was more challenging than I thought it would be due to the size restrictions. So create a foil figure and make sure to go smaller than you think you need to. I've done this before with a spider design, and it ended up being twice the size because I forgot about the added bulk of the clay. I like to take small pieces of clay and flatten them out with my fingers. Once you've applied a few pieces, make sure to smooth out any lines and dents. I forgot to mention that I'm only creating a half figure because most of the body will be covered in loose felt, and it will keep the ornament light. It's important to keep weight down so that it doesn't put too much pressure on the tree and hook. Now, when you get to the point where you're happy with the amount of coverage the clay has over the foil, you can start to carve out the facial features. To start with, I like to put 2 small holes as eye markers for the face. Then I roll a small rectangle shape for the nose and blend in the clay so there is no lines. For the eyes, I'm rolling 2 small balls and adding them to the holes I have pressed into the clay. Normally, I wouldn't leave the eyes so round without pressing down first, but for this project, it creates a creepy doll look. After that, I roll out a small piece of clay that's around the size of a large mouth. Use a clay rounded tool to lightly press the mouth flat, then with a clay knife create a line. Once you're happy with the clay figure, it's time to bake it. Usually this takes around 30 minutes at 130 degrees. Most clay and clay kits come with instructions. I like to turn off the oven when there's 10 minutes left to go, and leave it in there for an hour to cool. Also make sure that your clay is cold when you remove it off the baking tray. I have noticed that the clay can break easily when it's still warm. For the eyes, I'm using a black ink tip pen to create a pupil. For the clown designs, I'm painting the faces white. To be honest with you, I wish I had used white clay instead. And because of the size, I had to use a small brush, which made it impossible to create a smooth surface. Also, I used metallic paint. I lightly used gold paint on the carrot monster design. This helps to highlight the texture I created with a clay tool. Once you are happy with how the faces look, it's time to move on to the hair. You can purchase small amounts of felt on Temu at affordable prices. There is also a variety of colours available. Apply felt hair with a hot glue gun and lightly press down. If you press too hard, the glue will seep into the wool and create a cloudy, messy look. Also wait until the glue has set and then clean up the string bits. Once the hair is finished, it is time to move on to the costumes. I forgot to mention that there is no sewing involved, which makes this an easy and fast project to do if you're running out of time. For the clown designs, add another layer of felt around the neck. With a pair of scissors, trim the felt to create a collar-like effect. Once you have finished with the felt-like clothes, it's then time to add the embellishments. Just apply them with glue. I'm using super glue. Attach string to the loops, and that's it, you're ready to hang them on your tree. Overall, I'm happy with how these look. Don't get me wrong, there are a few things I would do differently, like the faces, but apart from that, they look great on the tree. Thank you for watching.